we promote the power of capitalism to do good, to promote change and elevate humanity. Our principles: higher purpose, stakeholder orientation, conscious leadership, and conscious culture. And we inspire and assist individuals and organizations to embrace and implement these conscious business principles.
And I think the reason it's working is because of the company culture and our ability to balance head and heart decision-making. It's got to be fast decision-making, and there's definitely speed going on here, but we haven't lost sight of, our character and our integrity and our principles. So that's
The conscious capitalism framework demands a broader, more comprehensive view of this ecosystem, which means always including other stakeholders such as community, competitors, advocacy groups, special interest groups that are not typically counted as stakeholders by one-to-many businesses. And
a purpose can differentiate and create competitive advantage. It inspires innovation. It increases brand trust and loyalty and helps the company endure with ways. When everybody's speaking from the same page and you're aligned in purpose, it can make all the difference.
We wanted to create, basically, we really wanted to create a company that we always wished that we worked for. Actually, I have a background in environmental science, so the environment has always been really important to me. Whatever we do, in the most environmentally sustainable way that we knew how. So that's been, from the very beginning, an important piece of our business. And we've learned a lot. So for us, the challenge has been, well, how do we do that? How do we create that kind of company?
Prop. So, I mean,
hold that up.
No. So that's
humanity through business. Yes.
Yeah. So I started a brokerage last year. And before I saw this mug, I went around and around, and Holly helped me a lot with naming the company. And I named it Elevate because, really that inspirational energy, I think, is really important, and not, it's not really just about the real estate, right? It's about how we live every day and how we interact with other people.
Liz said, when my partner and I decided to start this business, we had both kept pretty good records of kind of companies that we had worked for. And the company I worked for prior, I actually had a notebook that when I opened it the normal way, it was all the things that I would do that were similar to the leader of that company. And then if I flipped it over and I opened it backwards, it was all the things I would do different. And I realized that I needed to continue back to work for myself when the number of things that I would do different started to interrupt and be more than the things that I would do similar.
Oh,
I would say it's basically really just triple bottom lines. and the people, planet, and profit. All three things work together.
With that, and if I can just add something, I definitely agree with what Ebony said. I mean, because a culture is the personality of your organization. So
if you remember, Saturday Night Live had done a skit about one of the moms trying to go to there and they're like, oh my God, how do you turn it on, kind of thing. You know, honestly, I was guilty of that because I've never worked remotely and had a virtual presence at
Are, you know, in the midst of a pandemic, you know, one of the things that I always keep in mind is that it doesn't negate any of the other personal community challenges that are taking place. And it's important that as businesses and organizations that we remain conscious of that and diligent. This really does, you know, blend together and creating it, but it's really about creating the culture. You know, that's really the bottom line. If we want a culture where everyone feels welcome and included, then we need to create an atmosphere where everyone feels welcome and included.
Well, let me just say that, first of all, I want to commend you to even the work that you're doing in conscious capitalism. This is good work. And being equitable and being fair-minded and being conscious of how you affect the world at large is what we need more of. A lot of business owners do not think that way.
Right.
There is a different mode of being in business mind and being, you know, being conscious. You have to be both in order to be a good business owner. So I think that this is a start of it. Being conscious of how you interact with the world and how you interact with your community and making sure that you're equitable so diversity, I find, is a funny word because some people think it means that you bring a Black person and a woman and a Jewish person to the table and they give you diversity. That's not what diversity is. So if we're talking about, yes, inclusion, if we're talking about inclusion, we want people to not only be at the table, but feel like they have a voice and feel like that voice is there and it's strong today. And that's how you have to deal with your racial biases, your unconscious biases. Discover them because they are conscious. You'll see them.
Yeah.
Watch your behavior for a day. Write down what you do. Make a log. Who did I talk to today? And if you look at your log and everybody that you talk to looks like you, start reaching out. Reach out to somebody that doesn't look like you. I don't care if it's a barista at your coffee shop or the CEO of a corporation. I do that all the time. I talk to people that don't look like me, and I don't make them feel like I'm talking to them because they don't look like me. I say, hi, you know,
Right.
how are you? When do you have a dog? I have a dog. How's your dog? I think that the diversity, equity, and inclusion movement has missed the fact that it really is about people's energy and who they are. It's not about making sure that you have like a color count at the board table. That's not what this is about. And I feel like that's what the diversity movement has moved forward.
Being authentically who you are is definitely the best way to live, right? And when you do that, you are a magnet for you attract the right people into your life. So that can be staff, that can be agents, that can be clients, that can be friends, you know, it's all of it, right?
Yeah. Put everything down that was in front of you.
I want to
Smile.
see the picture too.
Yay.